When an organization or effort first begins, it's hard to predict the path it will take, the places it will go, the people it will touch, and the impact it will make. The history of CDI may be much like the efforts in your communities, full of change, challenges, and rewards. The key to success always comes back to leadership. And in the late 1980s, leaders in community development were all coalescing around a shared need.
The idea was to have a place or have a point of training that could reach more people more effectively, more cost effectively, and start building up the base of trained professionals in the state.
Organizations such as Entergy, ARCLA, Southwestern Bell, and UCA were at the forefront of the effort. The inaugural class of CDI had 44 students from 7 states.
I think that those early years were part and parcel of what I call the glory days. All of us tended to come around certain issues, and the Institute was at the center of that, and it kind of gave us the structure and the form that we needed to be a group, to be a unit. And when you take other personalities that were involved in that, Ernest Whitelaw and Bill Miller and other folks, they continued that esprit de corps, and I think that contributed a lot to the growth and the success of community development back in the 80s and 90s.
Communities go through cycles, and so do programs. After many years of growth, the Institute experienced some difficult years. Many of the early leaders of CDI had retired or moved away, and like our communities, programs are sometimes tested.
There were a few of us who were still involved with community development that understood that UCA was the flagship for CDI. The problem was that we didn't know what the support looked like. So we felt like, as the corporate leaders of this institute, we had a responsibility to ensure that one way or another the Institute survived.
With a change in leadership at the Institute and enrollment dipping, an advisory board was created to become a steward of the program and oversee its revitalization.
It took a lot of hard work for a number of years just because we weren't really an advisory board, and yet we found ourselves as class directors, we found ourselves as faculty, as general speakers. We did a variety of whatever needed to be done to ensure that we could go forward.
Thanks to the advisory board and supporters, CDI was able to maintain its week-long training. CDI is now part of a national network of institutes governed by the Community Development Council. The Professional Community and Economic Developer Certification, designated by the Council, is also gaining prominence and recognition nationally.
When people have that certification, they bring a set of skills that can benefit a community or a state or a region. So that certification is growing in recognition.
CDI has been able to regain its footing due to strong leadership from supporters and the University of Central Arkansas. A milestone for the Institute happened in 2010 when CDI was recognized for innovation by a National Community of Practice Award. UCA's other community development programs are also beginning to bear fruit in the state and region.
In recent years, the university has reaffirmed its commitment to community and economic development. They've done this by strengthening the master's program, giving it a new academic home. They've done that by putting resources and support with CCED that only benefits the Community Development Institute. And I think it speaks to UCA's interest in being a leader in the field. It very much fits with the mission of the institution to engage the community.
I think leadership development needs to be a strong thread running through the future for Community Development Institute and community development in general. To me, there's economic development, there's community development, and there's leadership development. And until we really address and integrate leadership development into the training, then we're going to not have as effective of communities as we could have.
The strength of CDI has been always, but even more so now, is training people in communities to move their communities forward. And I think there's still a need and a demand for that, and I expect it to continue to increase.
Well, I think that the staying power for CDI is all about the fact that there's a continual need for development. There's a continual need for learning, for understanding, for training. It's been there from the beginning, and it will continue. However that looks in the future, it will continue.
Community and economic development programs in the state and region are moving in a positive direction. How we work together to meet new challenges will define the next 25 years of community development work, and leadership will continue to be vital to the effort.